What do you do when you're craving Girl Scout cookies, but it's the wrong time of year and you can't get your peanut butter patties, also known as Tagalongs? You make cupcakes that taste just like the cookies. So check it out. Let's make some. We're going to start by recreating the crunchy cookie portion using some Nilla Wafers that we're going to grind up in the food processor. And then we're going to stir that in with some melted butter and some sugar. We're going to stir that really well until it's sort of the consistency of wet sand. And this is what we're going to make our crust out of on the bottom of the cupcakes. You'll spoon this mixture into the bottom of your cupcake liners, 24 cupcakes, so make sure you spread it out evenly and just kind of scoop a little bit in each one. If you've only got one muffin tin, go ahead and put the liners out for the other 12 and separate them all at once. That way you'll know that you have it split out evenly across your 24. So once you've got that in there, sort of smooth it out a little bit with a spoon, and then just take your fingers and just press it down in there and try to get it a nice flat little disc of dough. It should stick together pretty well because of that butter that we put in there. And then you're going to bake this in the oven at 325 degrees for about 3 minutes just to kind of set the crust and get it a little bit firmer. This is going to make a really nice crunch in the bottom of our cupcake, having that little cookie there that kind of resembles the cookie from the original Girl Scout cookies. So while that's baking and cooling, let's go ahead and mix up the cake mix. Just to save yourself some time and use a pre-boxed cake mix. I recommend the French vanilla flavor. It's got a really nice flavor. You can use yellow if you want, but I like that extra vanilla. So we're just going to mix this up in the mixer with the ingredients that the box calls for, which is usually eggs, oil, and water. Just mix that up according to package directions. When your cookie crusts are cool, go ahead and pour your batter in right on top of that and fill it till it's about 2/3 full. You might have a little bit of batter left at the end. Maybe you can make a couple of extra cupcakes at the end that don't have the crust in it, but you'll use most of it to fill this up to 2/3. Then you're going to bake this in the oven according to the package directions on the cake mix. While the cupcakes are baking and cooling, let's go ahead and make the frosting. We're going to start with some butter that's at room temperature and put it in your mixer with the whisk attachment and just beat it until it's really light and fluffy. Then we're going to add in some creamy peanut butter and some pure vanilla extract. And this is what's going to transform this into a delicious peanut butter filling. You know that's the best part about the peanut butter patties is that peanut butter filling inside that works so great with the chocolate and the cookie. So we're going to recreate that with this frosting / filling that's going to go on top of the cupcake. Give that a good mix with the whisk attachment again until everything is nice and smooth and creamy. Make sure you scrape the sides of the bowl to get that butter up, and just whip it until it's nice and fluffy. Ah, isn't that delicious? Looks so good. Okay, but we don't have any sugar in here yet, so let's add some sugar. We're going to use powdered sugar. Add it kind of slowly so that it doesn't go all over the place, but put all your sugar in there and get everything all nice and mixed up, nice and fluffy and yummy. Go ahead and give it a taste. You're going to find it's really, really good. Try not to eat it all, but oh, it's so delicious. This would also make a great cake filling or frosting for anything on its own, but it works really well with this cupcake recipe. All right, so let's get that frosting on those cupcakes. Go ahead and dump it into a disposable piping bag and put a nice big fat tip on it and just put nice big swirls right on your cupcake. If you don't have a big tip, you could just cut the end of the bag and that would probably work fine too. I like the extra precision that the tip gives me. I like to also not go all the way to the edge of the cupcake. You'll see in the end it kind of looks more like a little mound in the middle, which I think is kind of pretty for this particular look. But you can do what you like to do. Don't worry about making it too smooth. We're going to cover it up with chocolate here in a little bit. It's going to look great. There we go. Don't those look delicious? We're going to add some chocolate and some garnishes on the top. It's going to take them over the top. Let's start with some milk chocolate chips. The milk chocolate matches better with the cookie, but you can use the semi-sweet if you prefer. But let's just put a whole bag in a bowl. Let's microwave it on 30-second bursts until it's almost melted. See this? So they're just kind of shiny and a little bit squishy. And then we're going to take a little bit of shortening and we're going to mix some shortening into that. Now the reason we do this is twofold. Number one, it's going to make the chocolate a lot easier to dip. It's going to make it a little bit runnier and thinner, which is what we need for this cupcake. And the second thing is it's going to keep the chocolate from getting hard again when it cools. You don't want a hard chocolate shell on top of your cupcake. You want it to be nice where you can bite into it. And that shortening really helps with that. So if you mix this into your almost melted chocolate and just keep on stirring until it's smooth, do a little bit more in the microwave if you need to, but don't do too much. You don't want to burn the chocolate, and just get it till it's nice and smooth. All right, let the chocolate cool just a little bit so that it's not too hot, and then we're going to go ahead and dip these cupcakes. So take a cupcake, turn it upside down, and very carefully go straight down into the chocolate. Pull it back straight up, let it drip for a second to get any chocolate that might drip off, and there you go. Looks beautiful. I like to garnish the top of it with a couple of chopped peanuts. Makes it look pretty, and it sort of serves as a signal to anybody who might be allergic to peanuts. They know right away that there's peanuts in this, so that's kind of a good flag too. And just keep on going and get all of your cupcakes dipped, and they look so pretty and yummy, and those peanuts on top just make it perfect. You see what I mean about how that mound of frosting really kind of looks like a cookie on top? It's just so good. I love it. And here you have it. This is my cupcake that has all of the same elements of a peanut butter patty or tagalong, but in cupcake form. It's got the peanut butter, it's got the chocolate topping, it's got that crunch from the cookie, and a bonus, you get that cake inside. So let's look inside, let's see what it looks like. Let's unwrap one of these. You can see this cookie crunch at the bottom is just so wonderful. It's such a nice surprise when you bite into it. And here you go, there's the cupcake. Look at that with that filling on top and the beautiful cake and then that crunchy bottom. So delicious, you will love it. Everyone will love it. Even if they don't immediately recognize that this is modeled after the Girl Scout cookie, they're gonna know this is a delicious cupcake and they're gonna want more. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. This is our version of the Girl Scout Tagalongs or peanut butter patty cookies in cupcake form. Be sure to follow us for more recipes. We've got a couple more cookies up our sleeve that we're going to turn into cupcakes. So give us a subscribe to make sure you don't miss a thing.